Hey guys, welcome to my new Blu-ray collection update video. I've not made one of these for absolutely ages. I kind of like to stagger these a couple of months, like half a year-ish. I know that's quite a long gap, but then I can cover every single thing that I've picked up over the course of several months, and it's a little bit more interesting to you guys to see what I'm picking up and what I'm checking out and what's coming out and stuff like that. I've actually managed to get myself about 12 box sets or special edition versions of films and things like that, so I'll take you through them now. So first off, the only BFI release I've picked up, it is a Late Autumn by Ozu. I still haven't seen any Ozu, but it's one that I want to check out. This one also comes with A Mother Should Be Loved as well, so there's two films here that I would like to watch and check out, and Ozu's a filmmaker I've heard is excellent, so I need to watch his stuff. I'll move on now to the two Steelbooks that I've picked up. Both of these are part of the Studio Ghibli Steelbook collection that Zavi put out. Again, following the style of the circle, similar to all the other Steelbooks. I now own every single one of them, and they're really nice design, and it's a great way for me to explore the Ghibli films. I've never seen Tales from Earthsea. I know this isn't actually by Hayao Miyazaki, it's by his son, so I don't really know what to expect, but it's a really nice Steelbook, and I think the presentation will be excellent, as all of the others have been as well. I've kept it sealed, and I will do until I actually plan to watch it, just in case it goes up in price, etc. And I can't really show you the inside artwork, but I'm sure it's very nice as well. Here is the second Studio Ghibli Steelbook that I've picked up. This is The Cat Returns. This film isn't by Hayao Miyazaki either, so it's nice to see that they're actually producing Steelbooks and these versions for films which are part of the Ghibli collection but not actually by Hayao Miyazaki. Never seen this, I don't know what it's about. I know that the cat is actually a character in one of the other films, but I haven't seen that either. But Ghibli normally do a great job with all of their releases, and their films are excellent as well, so I'm looking forward to checking it out. It's probably best now to move on to the Masters of Cinema collection. I've picked up a couple of releases of them over the past couple of months. First off is The Tarnished Angels, a film by Douglas Sirk. I haven't seen it. I like Rock Hudson, I think he's a very good actor. I've seen him in Seconds and other films. I think he's very good, so I'm looking forward to checking it out. I've no idea what to expect, but I've heard very, very good things. The next release is Medium Cool. I really like Robert Forster, and he's in the film, so that's kind of why I wanted to pick it up and check it out. He's great in Jackie Brown, and you know, that one scene in Mulholland Drive, but I haven't seen him in many other films. I think this is when he's fairly young as well. I've no idea what the film is about, but I'm quite interested in checking it out, and it looks like there's some decent special features as well on this release, which is good to see from a Masters of Cinema release, because not all of them come with an incredible array of special features, but when they do, they're very, very well presented and are very useful for after watching the films. Next up is their limited release with the slipcover of Legend of the Mountain. This is another film by King Hu. They released Dragon Inn and A Touch of Zen a while ago. I picked up the release slipcover for A Touch of Zen and watched that film, and I thought that film was absolutely brilliant. I really, really enjoyed it as one of the wuxia films, but I don't know if this film is a wuxia. I did watch the first, I don't know, 10 minutes of it, but it's just gorgeous landscapes in China, I'd imagine, just mountains and forests and water and lake, and a really good example of how montage can be used to address a mood and a theme within a film. But then I didn't continue to watch it because it's, what, a 3-hour film, and I wasn't really in the mood to sit down and watch a 3-hour film. It was just kind of something I wanted to see what the quality of the picture was going to be like and what kind of film I was going to be getting into. One of the things I will say about the slipcover personally as a preference is that I don't actually like the artwork on it. I don't know whether this is a traditional poster for the film, but I think it looks a little bit naff. I don't really know how to explain what I mean by that, but I just don't think it looks particularly great. The actual artwork of the release itself without the sleeve, I think, is a lot nicer. It's kind of encapsulates what I think the film is going to be about, and it just looks gorgeous. So I'd much prefer if the slipcover had that image on it rather than the one that's presented, but mind you, I can always take it off, and I'm glad that I own it just in case, and I'm looking forward to checking that out because King Hu's a great director. The last thing in the Masters of Cinema lineup I've picked up is the early Hu Sao Sein collection. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, I've got no idea, but it comes with Cute Girl, The Green Green Grass of Home, and The Boys from Feng Kui. This collection's really nice. I'm looking forward to checking out the films. He directed The Assassin, which I think won the Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival. Festival a while ago, maybe 2015. That was a pretty nice film. It looks very nice as well. Yeah, looking forward to checking out this. I've heard very, very good things about the transfers, and that the films are actually quite good as well. So next up, I've got a release from a distributor that I didn't really know about called Second Sight. I'm definitely going to be checking out a lot more of their titles now, because I picked up the collector's edition of The Colour of Pomegranates. So this is a film that I've never really heard of before. It's a very, very avant-garde kind of poetic art film from Russia, or around Russia, I'm not completely sure, by a filmmaker called Sergei Paranyov. I don't know if I've pronounced that correctly either. This edition of the film is absolutely excellent. I've watched the director's cut of the film, and it looks stunning. The transfer is incredible, and this edition comes with a gorgeous box with excellent artwork. It comes with a very thick book with writing on the film as well, so this is absolutely gorgeous. It comes with notes, shots from the film, essays, writing, committee of filmmakers discussing the film. These kind of things are absolutely brilliant. There's some excellent writing in this book, and I definitely recommend, if you pick up this edition, read the stuff in there after you've seen the film, because a lot more of it made sense to me afterwards, because it's a very, well, almost confusing, but because it's avant-garde and like an art film, you will need a bit of a guiding hand to get you through it. This is the release of inside of the box, and it comes with a bunch of special features. Talks about the film, topics on it. Tony Raines talks about Paranyov. It comes with a cut of one of his short films with annotated commentary, and it comes with 2 different cuts of the film as well. So the one that was theatrically put out there, and the version that was the director's cut, which I've seen. I think that the film, I said that the film was Russian. Sorry, it's Armenian, not Russian. But it's a really, really interesting film, and I will watch it again at some point. It looks absolutely stunning, but I know that Criterion Collection have recently announced or released this in there for the US. I'm pretty sure this is the Region 2 release version of it, and Second Sight have done an absolutely tremendous job, so I'll be picking up their stuff in the future, and I highly, highly recommend to anyone interested in avant-garde or art house cinema, or those of you who have seen the film or heard of the film, check out this release because it's really very good. Next up, I think we'll move on to the Arrow video section. I picked up a copy of Deep Red. I don't know if I've mentioned this on one of my previous updates, but it's a Dario Argento film. I quite like Argento. I've seen about half of this so far. Really, really enjoyed what I saw, but I got interrupted midway through, so I need to rewatch the entire thing again. The transfer was brilliant, and this comes with loads and loads of special features as well, which is really good, so I'm looking forward to checking this out in the full. Next up, a film that I kind of blind bought. I'm really not sure why I bought it, and it's got a lot of problems. Necromantic 2. I haven't seen Necromantic 1. I've heard things about it, and I don't know why I kind of own this. I watched the first half of it, and was kind of turned off by what was going on. You know, I wasn't sure, I wasn't really in the mood of watching it. But there are some interesting things that the director's done here to try and like convey different feelings and things like that, and part of that is kind of interesting, but I haven't seen it. This comes with loads of special features, like absolutely bloody loads, which is typical of Arrow really. Next release from Arrow Video is the Takashi Miike Dead or Alive trilogy. It comes with Dead or Alive 1, 2 and 3. Miike, again, I've said a lot about him before. Prolific filmmaker, Japanese, very interesting films. Some of them are great, some of them are not so great. I saw the first Dead or Alive because of this set, and I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really fun, kind of interesting gangster crime film, and it's full of kind of Miike-esque quirks and scenes and things that happen and stuff like that, and I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was really fun, and I kind of dove straight into Dead or Alive 2, which is really, really weird and slows down the pace a bit, and I didn't really like it that much. And then I saw Dead or Alive 3, or Dead or Alive Final, and that film is just colossally bad. It's a very bad film. I don't recommend it to anyone. I don't really recommend number 2 either, but Dead or Alive 1 was a lot of fun, so another Miike for the shelf, and I only picked this up fairly cheap, so yeah, it wasn't bad to watch. Next up are 2 releases that came out last year. We have the collector's edition of The Thing. This is a tremendous edition from Arrow. They've put a lot of hard work into restoring kind of old classic horror films, but this is one of the most popular, I think, horror films of that kind of generation. It's a really interesting film, excellently performed, excellently directed by John Carpenter, and this edition is absolutely stunning. It comes with art cards, it comes with a poster, with a booklet, with a new kind of 4K restoration of the film. It looks absolutely stunning, and it comes with a bunch of special features as well. I highly recommend you check out their single release that isn't limited, just for the special features and for the quality of the transfer. Arrow have done a really good job with this. And I really like this collector's edition as well. This sold out very quickly on the pre-order thing, so I'm glad that I had it in pre-orders, and it's a very good edition of a great film, and I'm very pleased to own it. Next up, another classic horror film that Arrow restored recently, Carrie. This, like the Thing collection, is a very good transfer of the film. It was my first time seeing this film, and I very much enjoyed it. I think it's a very good film. I keep saying very, what the hell's wrong with me? It was another kind of insight into the films of Brian De Palma. I've mentioned before, Blow Up, I think I did on the last Blowout, I think I talked about on my last update, but another Brian De Palma film. Again, this comes with a booklet and a poster with this art and original art, and with a bunch of special features that I actually sat down and watched after watching the film, because I was really feeling it and I thought it was great, so I wanted to know more about it. Really good film, really good release. I don't know if this has sold out as the Thing one has, but if it hasn't, then I'd recommend picking it up because it's really nice. Next up, I have a collection of films from a Japanese filmmaker called Seiyun Suzuki. I own the Taisho trilogy that I showed last collection update, maybe. I've seen a bunch of his films, Tokyo Drifter, Branded to Kill, Youth of the Beast, things like that, but Arrow here have put together a collection of his early films, and these are kind of all revolve around youth and relationships and things like that. So this set comes with 5 of his films: Born Under Crossed Stars, The Incorrigible, Teenage Yakuza, The Wind Youth Group Crosses the Mountain Pass, and The Boy Who Came Back. 5 films that I'd never heard of before, that I probably never would have heard of if it wasn't for this collection. I've seen one of them, I thought it was very good, and it comes with a booklet and some special features. The artwork is very nice as well. That's what it looks like on the spine, and the back of it looks like that. It did come with one of those cardboard slip back things, which I don't like, so I just take them off. As soon as I get them out of the plastic, I just take them off because I don't really need that. And the final Arrow video box set that I've got my hands on is the follow-up set to the set I was just discussing, the Seiyun Suzuki Early Years Volume 2. So this is more crime and action drama kind of films. I've seen one of them, thought it was really interesting. You know, they're not bad films. I think that's one of the things that I watched on this release was Tony Ryan's kind of talk about the films in general, and he kind of says that the films aren't bad films, but they're not particularly great, but they're just enjoyable, and it's nice to see that kind of historical side of cinema within Japan being made, and I agree with him. You know, the one that I saw I found very entertaining. I thought it was very good. Transfer was nice, but this set also comes with a booklet and with another 5 films, so 8 Hours of Terror, Tokyo Nights, The Man with a Shotgun, The Sleeping Beast Within, which is the one that I've seen, and Smashing the O-Line. I'm looking forward to checking out more Suzuki, but again, similar art style for the first release. The one thing I will say I don't like about this art style is they've used the same image of Suzuki. They could have maybe put a different image of Suzuki, you know, because that might have been a little bit more nice. But I really like looking through the Japanese kind of B-movies and Nikatsu films and stuff like that, which Arrow mostly put out. I'm looking forward to checking out more of that, because Suzuki's an interesting filmmaker. It's interesting for me to see how his style develops across most of his films. Next up, we move on to the Arrow Academy releases, and I'll start off with the singular release of Story of Sin. This is a film by Valerian Borovchik. I own all the other Borovchik films that Arrow have released, and have seen all the other films that Borovchik has made that Arrow have released as well. I think some of them are very interesting, some of them missed their mark quite horribly. All of the editions that Arrow have put out have come with tremendous special features, so I've always kind of dipped into them. Even if I don't like the film, the special features are there to kind of keep me occupied and interested in Borovchik as a filmmaker. I don't know anything about this film, Story of Sin. I haven't seen it yet. This comes with loads of special features, as you'd expect, from scholars and critics and things like that, and I'm pretty sure it will come with a couple of his short films as well, because most of these releases do as well. Interesting artwork on the front. It has obviously all of the Arrow releases have reversible artwork, but I'm not able to show you because it'll just take bloody ages. But this spine does actually come looking like the other films within the collection. That was one of the problems I had with the obscure case of Dr. Jekyll and Miss Osborne, because that spine was black and just didn't go with the rest of the Brovchik films, and I had all 5 of them on the shelf, and it just doesn't look right. But that also will look nice on the shelf despite its lack of BBFC logo, which all the other ones have as well. Okay, so these are 2 releases that came out ages ago, film noir releases from the Arrow Academy range. This is the Blue Dahlia. I've heard very good things. It's a classic film noir, but I haven't seen it before. I'm looking forward to checking it out. I like Veronica Lake and I like Alan Ladd, and yeah, there's some decent special features in here as well. Noir is a genre, as you'll see, that I'm going to try and explore a bit further as well myself, so I'm glad that I picked that up as well. And to follow that, I have The Glass Key, again with Veronica Lake and Alan Ladd. I thought this film was very good. I have seen it, it's really interesting, and I like the way that film noir is kind of developing. It comes with loads of special features as well, this release, and I was really pleased with it, so I'm happy to have that and look forward to watching more. Sticking with the noir theme, I think I'll show you the next box set, which is 4 film noir classics. This is a huge release that Arrow put out last year. It comes with The Big Combo, Force of Evil, Secret Beyond the Door, and The Dark Mirror. I've seen The Dark Mirror and The Big Combo. I think both of them are very interesting films. Now, I don't know whether this edition has sold out yet. It was limited to 2,000 copies, but I know it was incredibly popular when it came out and was released. It comes with a booklet on the films, loads of special features about each of them, which is great for the Arrow series. The spine looks like that. I'm not a massive fan of that myself. I think it looks a bit dodgy on the shelf with all the other stuff, but I can forgive them. But the films that I have seen here have been great, and very interesting transfers. One of the things on the spines, I don't know why The Dark Mirror has a black Arrow logo and the other ones have a white one. That's a bit annoying for me, but you know, I can get past it. But it's a really, really nice addition, and I'm looking forward to checking out more film noir. I know that Arrow are also releasing each of these films individually in the future, so if you do want to see 1 or 2 of them, you can pick them up in a couple of months, I think, and check them out for yourselves. Really, really nice collection. I highly recommend it. This is The Apartment by Billy Wilder. I've seen a bunch of Billy Wilder films, really, really like his work. I think he's a very interesting filmmaker, but I've never actually seen The Apartment, and this is a great way to explore it, I think. Comes with a hardback book, a copy of the film, and some special features. I don't know how in-depth the special features are, but as it's an Arrow release, you can probably assume it's going to be great. The artwork on the back is like this. This one also came with a cardboard kind of sleeve with information about the films, but I don't get why they can't just print that stuff on the back with the other artwork. It's a really nice release that I'm looking forward to checking out, because I haven't seen the film before, and I like Billy Wilder. Next up, we'll move on to some Asian cinema. I have the Kerr Box Set, 3 films, 24 City, A Touch of Sin, and Mountains May Depart. This is a really nice set as well, by a filmmaker I didn't really know about much. It comes with a booklet and a bunch of special features on each of the films. I have seen A Touch of Sin from this collection. I really, really enjoyed it. I think that the direction style that Kerr has is excellent, and he is very, very efficient with what he wants to cover. I will also say that if you have got this set and you haven't seen the films yet, do not watch the introductions on any of them by Tony Robbins, because I watched the introduction to A Touch of Sin before watching A Touch of Sin, and he spoils one of the pivotal moments in the film, which I was rather disappointed about, because I'd rather go into it blind. He kind of just mentions something that happens and then goes in to discuss it, and it's like, well, you've just ruined a plot point of the film. That's not great, and that's really annoying. Again, really nice release. Chinese filmmaker I don't know much about, but I'm really looking forward to checking out more of it after seeing A Touch of Sin, because that's great. Another filmmaker I don't really know about is Hirokazu Koreeda. Arrow have been partnered with him, I think, recently, and here are 3 of his films from Japan: I Wish, Like Father Like Son, and After the Storm. This collection's gorgeous. The artwork is absolutely brilliant. The spine is really nice, and everything about this release looks great. It sits on the shelf lovely, and it also comes with a bunch of special features, and I've heard that the films are excellent, so I'm looking forward to checking them out. I've never seen any of his films before, but I'm expecting more of a kind of touching kind of family vibe from most of these, because the films, I think that's basically what they're meant to be covering within like a central theme, and I'm looking forward to it. One minor problem I've got with this set is that the booklet does not have the traditional Arrow Academy logo printed on it. It has the other Arrow logo printed on it, which annoys me, because, you know, things like that do annoy me. But yeah, I'm looking forward to checking this out, and I'm assuming very good films in here. I'll move on next to the French stuff. So this is a collection of Jean-Luc Godard and Jean-Pierre Gorin films. I believe I've pronounced his name correctly. This set comes with 5 of their films that they've worked together. So Vladimir et Rosa, Le Vent d'Est, Lotte in Italia, Un film comme les autres, and British Sounds. I have just absolutely destroyed saying those words. I did do French at GCSE, but apparently I can't pronounce anything. So the name of those films in English is A Film Like Any Other, British Sounds, aka See You at Mao, Wind from the East, Struggles in Italy, and Vladimir and Rosa. That's a lot easier for me to say. I have sat down and watched Struggles in Italy. That was a really interesting film because they kind of talk about the kind of politics of capitalism and kind of Marxism and things like that, and it's interesting from that kind of perspective. But then they also start playing around with the form of the filmmaking itself and addressing the audience directly, asking them what kind of messages the filmmaker is trying to get through by using different techniques. I thought that was really, really very interesting. Godard is a filmmaker I've always found hard to get on with, but this kind of exploration into how he kind of deconstructs cinema, not narrative cinema, but like cinema within a political kind of climate or an art piece, is really very interesting. This set looks really nice. One thing I will say though, I'm really disappointed by the condition of this set that I got when it arrived from Zavvi. They packed it in a sleeve of bubble wrap rather than an actual kind of traditional package like Amazon would, and that caused every single one of the cases inside to be cracked, and little like splinters of plastic were like rattling around within the discs and things like that, which is really not good for anything like that. The box is slightly damaged. I can get away with it a bit. You can't really see it, so I can live with it, but it's one of those things where these box sets are kind of like they're put out there as a collector's item, and they're quite expensive as well, and when they're not looked after by the companies that are selling them, it's really disappointing, and Zavvi have done a terrible job with that. But the Godard set is one that I probably recommend to people who are very, very hardcore cinephiles and into kind of the French New Wave stuff. It looks like these films are going to be very, very hard for me to watch and get through. There'll be some payoff as well because I really enjoyed Struggles in Italy for the different things that it has to offer. So yeah, more Godard to check out as well. Finally, I have the final release, which is a huge one that I really, really, really adore. This is an excellent box set from the Academy line. This is an Eric Romer collection. It comes with 10 of his films, and I'd never seen any Romer before this. I've now seen a couple of the films, and I've absolutely adored every one that I've seen. Romer has a brilliant way with his camera, with his actors, and the dialogue he uses just flows beautifully. Every single scene in all of the films that I've seen just seems like a reasonable kind of part of life. He manages to capture scenes beautifully in natural kind of lighting and excellent conditions, and everything just looks absolutely superb. So the films that this contains is Four Adventures of Rignette and Mirabelle, The Tree, the Mare, the Mediathèque, The Marquis of O and Percival, The Green Ray, My Girlfriend's Boyfriend, Pauline at the Beach, Full Moon in Paris, The Aviator's Wife, and A Good Marriage. The artwork in this set is absolutely gorgeous as well. I really, really enjoy it. Unfortunately, because the boxes have 2 films in per box, the film sleeves are reversible, so you can choose which of the sleeves you'd like. For a lot of people that's not an issue, but I kind of like the idea of having each film have its own sleeve, like the Fassbinder collection does when that's on the shelf. Yeah, it's a really, really nice addition. Very, very pleased with it. I'd highly recommend it to anyone who doesn't own any of the other Romer collections, because I know that there are some collections out there already. It comes with a bunch of special features, and the transfer of the films that I've seen is really, really very good. Yeah, I just highly recommend it. Really very pleased with this release, and Eric Romer is now one of my favourite filmmakers, and he's been really, really fun to explore through this set. So thank you guys for watching this collection update. It's been bloody ages, and there's a lot of stuff here that I've had to get through and talk about and watch and explore, and there's a lot more that I need to get through. Thankfully, the Arrow have decided to kind of slow down on releasing big box sets and things like that for a while now. There's a Japanese set that is coming out in a couple of months that I want to pick up, and I'll probably get the Sasha Gucci set at some point, but I'm waiting for that to go down in price as well. But yeah, thank you for watching. If you have any thoughts on any of the films that I've mentioned, please put them in the comments and I will respond to you. I like talking about films as much as the next person, so yeah, if you have any recommendations or want to just have a chat about some of the stuff here, hit me up in the comments. And if you like the video, like, maybe subscribe for more future ones. Even though my updates do come at a fairly unregular basis, I think that I cover a lot of different ground with the stuff that I do when I do it. So yeah, thanks for watching guys, and I'll probably see you in the next one.